Hey folks, welcome back to Ancestry Lands, the channel where we dig into old ways of living off the land, literally. And I'm talking roots, soil, seeds, and today, the night sky. Now, what I'm going to ask you is when do you water your garden? The morning, the afternoon? Maybe you run out there with a hose during your lunch break, squinting in the sun like you're searching for treasure. Well, what if I told you the best time to take care of your garden is actually after the sun goes down? That's right, night gardening. Before you say that sounds a little weird, stick with me now and hear me out. Because once you hear why this works, you're going to want to start to set an alarm for sunset. Now, let's start with the most obvious thing, water. When you water your plants in the middle of the day, especially in the summertime, a huge chunk of that water just evaporates. The soil is hot, the sun is blazing, and your water bill is basically funding a cloud. It's not great, but when you water at dusk or after dark, there's no direct sunlight cooking the ground. The water actually soaks it in and it sticks around. Your plants get to drink it up slowly all night long right through their roots. You end up with less water and your plants get more of it. And your wallet, well, it thanks you. It's a win win. And we like those around here. Here's another thing that people don't think about is the plant stress. Yes, plants get stressed. They are living, and can you blame them? It gets blasted with cold water in the middle of a scorching hot afternoon that is a shock to its system, especially for the roots which are sitting in the dark soil that's been soaking up heat all day. It's like someone just throwing you into a pool. At nighttime, that temperature drops, the soil cools down, and your plants can finally relax, rehydrate, and recover. Think of it like this: you don't want someone to dump ice cold water on you when you're sitting on a hot car or in a hot car. And your tomatoes or your other plants feel the same way. Now, here's where I get that one that I personally love: pollinators, bees, wasps, hornets, other bumblebees. They're absolutely essential to your garden. We need them, we love them. Now, do we love getting on our hands and knees right next to them while they're working? Not always. Here's the good news: pollinators go home at night. They go to sleep. They clock out. They don't work after dark. They're not night shift workers like me. But if you've been avoiding certain parts of your garden because there's a lot of buzzing going on at dusk at nighttime, you're in your window. You can plant, harvest, and treat your plants for fungus, pull weeds near blossoms, and all without a single sting. I call that a sweet deal. The bees might disagree, but they're asleep. Now let's talk about something really cool: night bloomers. Some plants are literally designed to shine after dark. Jasmine, moonflowers, evening primrose. These are flowers that actually have evolved to be open up at night. They bloom in the dark. So if you got any of these beauties in your garden, giving them a little water and care in the evening is exactly what they need. You're working with their natural rhythm instead of against it. They look better, grow stronger, and come up healthier in the morning time. It's like giving your night owl plants permission to be night owls. Now, here's the one thing that really connects with what we do on this channel: medicinal herbs. If you grow herbs for teas, poultices, or natural remedies, evening is actually the ideal time to tend to them. Let me break it down. Evening primrose opens up after dark, produces oils that are good for the skin. They're healthy. Chamomile loves cooler evening air and actually helps it to build the compounds that calm digestion and support sleep. Lavender holds on to its soothing oils better when it isn't stressed out by the hot afternoon sun. So, watering and pruning these herbs in the evening isn't just convenient, it's actually better for the medicine you're going to make them from. The old herbalists knew this, and now you do too, thanks to Ancestry Lands. Now, let's talk bugs. You like me, they ain't not fun. And that they're the pest kind. Aphids, beetles, and other common pests love moisture. They're drawn to it. They thrive in it. And they're most active, guess when? During the day. And here's the trick: if you keep your garden dry during the day and water at night, you're basically flipping the script on them. They show up looking for a humid buffet and find a desert instead. Meanwhile, your plants are getting all the hydration they need after those pests are gone, looking elsewhere. Your garden becomes an oasis at night and a decoy during the day. Sneaky, maybe, but effective. Absolutely. And okay, let's be honest about something. Gardening in the heat of the day is rough. Sweat in your eyes, sunburn on your neck or your back or your ears. You're dehydrated by noon and wondering if you could have thought it was a good hobby. This is especially true for the older population and kids that might want to help, those grandkids. You get tired and overheated very fast. You don't need to get cancer to have a garden. Gardening at dusk or night, completely a different experience. It's cool, calm, and there's a nice evening breeze, and the whole family can actually enjoy being out there. Even the heavy work, planting, deep weeding, harvesting, is so much easier when you're not battling the sun. It becomes something you look forward to instead of something you have to dread. And let's talk about a few things old homesteaders figured out a long time ago. Lunar gardening is one of them. Old time farmers paid close attention to the moon. They noticed that plant sap and moisture seemed to move depending on the moon's phase. Knowing of kind of how affect the moon affects the tides. During the waxing moon, you're gonna have to look that up, and we'll put something up there so you can see it. When it's growing towards a full, moisture rises up in plants. Bet you didn't know that. That makes a great time for leafy crops like lettuce and spinach and herbs. During a waning moon, after the full moon, moisture moves downward into the soil. That's better for root crops like carrots, beets, and potatoes. If you're already out there at night, you might well want to look up and let the moon help you plant. Now, another old homesteader trick is mulch. A thick layer of straw, grass clippings, or even wood chips laid down in the evening traps moisture in the soil and protects the roots from temperature swings overnight. Old farmers also place flat stones and bricks between the garden rows to help hold the heat of the day and slowly release it through the nighttime, keeping your young plants warm, slowly evaporating, so slowing the evaporation process during the next day. And then there's the gravity feed irrigation. Before hoses and timers existed, homesteaders used a simple rain barrel with a raised stand, connecting it to a soaker hose. Water flows slowly and steadily straight to the roots overnight. No waste, no effort. Just good, quiet, low tech watering while you sleep. All right, if you give night gardening a try, here's a couple tools to make your life a little easier. First, a headlamp. Get a rechargeable LED lamp. They're inexpensive and most clip right onto your hat. You want your hands free, trust me on this one. Second one, some whitening gloves. These might sound funny, but white gloves are way easier to see in the dark than when you're digging around a heavy plant cover at night. It helps you to know where your hands are, especially when you're trying to pull a weed and not your prized pepper plant. Now, a couple of things not to do when you're gardening at night. Don't water over the top of your plants. If you soak the leaves at night, any fungus hiding under those leaves is going to have an absolute party. Instead, use soaker hoses laid right at the ground level or a watering wand aimed at the base of the plant. Keep the leaves dry, and if you're using the soaker hose, put a timer on your outdoor spigot. Falling asleep with the water running all night, not a good goal for your garden and your bill. You're not trying to build a swimming pool here with plants. A major weeding at night is a bad idea. Even with the headlamp, it's easy to accidentally pull the wrong plant when you don't see clearly. Save the serious weeding for the early morning or just after the sun sets where there's still a little light to work with. Here's a quick summary you can take with you. Water at night, use less. Plants will absorb more. Plant at night, fewer bugs, fewer stings. Cooler temps tend to your herbs at night and bloomers in the evening when they actually thrive. Watch that moon. If you go in full homesteader, keep your leaves dry, and the best time to water is just after sunset. You can still see what you're doing, and any stray drops of leaves will dry before the darkness sets. These aren't new ideas. These are generations of homesteaders, herbalists, and farmers have been doing this forever. We're just bringing it right up to the front where you can remember it and let you know that they already knew this. And that's your intro to night gardening. If this got you thinking about the old ways of living and growing and taking care of your land, this is exactly what Ancestry Lands is all about. I'm your host, Philip Davis, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and don't miss what's coming up next. And drop me a comment down below. If you're already gardening at night, or is this something you're new or going to try? Let me know. I want to hear from you. What's growing in your world? And I'll see you in the next one. Now, go touch some dirt.
Most people don't need motivation, they need better information. Owning land, growing food, and becoming more self-reliant often sound complicated, mostly because they're rarely explained clearly. Ancestry Lands focuses on the practical side of independence by talking about what land ownership actually costs, what works in real backyards and small parcels. Because independence means getting freedom and security, and land just happens to do both. If you prefer planning over panic, subscribe to Ancestry Lands for information you can actually use.